What's up, guys, and how are you all doing today? Let's get started talking about this new review, this new film that we're talking about, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. If you've been a follower of this channel, you'll know that in my original review for the first Sonic film, I despised it. There was just something about it. Maybe it was the baby humor or the script with so many lines that made us feel like we were infants. Just it felt more like a baby movie. And, just a few days ago, we rewatched the film for the first time in like 2 years. And I'll tell you this, the original Sonic the Hedgehog film is not as bad as I said it was. Watching it again, letting it all, eat away at me for 2 years, you watch the film. Sure, there is baby humor in it. There are little bits and pieces of lines of dialogue that Sonic says that makes you feel like, he's narrating it for the audience. Makes us feel a little dumb. And this movie does that too, but what I will say is the original Sonic film, I have it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I do think it's okay, and I don't mind it, especially not as much as I did. And comparing it to this film, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is again directed by Jeff Fowler, who also directed the first film. This is only his second feature film. The first film he'd ever directed was the original Sonic the Hedgehog movie. That was a short film he did before that. And his third directorial stamp is going to be for a Pink Panther film, which is supposed to be animated. I don't know, but that's coming out this year apparently. This is an animated adventure of the classic Pink Panther character. Love the Pink Panther, like the animated Pink Panther. Not as much the Steve Martin movies, but we're getting off track here. Let's continue talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I did say does still contain that baby humor, and the dialogue sort of is like that at times too. The humor in this, I feel like they decided not to give it to Jim Carrey as much. Sure, Jim Carrey is doing his thing, but it almost seems like, the first movie he was better. In this film, he's just kind of doing what he has to do as Robotnik. It doesn't feel like he's phoning it in. It feels like he's being Jim Carrey, but I just don't think the script for the character is as good as it was the first time around. This time, the new kind of comedic element is Tika Sumpter's sister, who is getting married in the film to a Shamar Moore playing Randall. Characters that you're probably not going to remember their names leaving the theater if it wasn't for Google. She has a lot of humor in the movie, a lot of comedic moments. I think a lot of the stuff with her in the first movie more revolved around in her home. This, she's out of the home. She's out. She's in Hawaii. She's doing stuff. There's a lot of silliness there, a lot of goofiness. And it made the movie drag a little bit. A side plot with her and her romance and her fiance and everything. It just didn't work for me. But two new characters being introduced to this movie. Idris Elba playing Knuckles, and Colleen O'Shaughnessy's as Tails. Tails, I believe, is a boy, being voiced by a girl, but I believe she actually voices the character in the video game series. So, from what I heard, anyway, don't take me for fact on that, but it's what I heard, and if that's the case, the continuity there is pretty good too. But look, the Tails character, I feel like, aims more towards kids, where the Knuckles character aims more towards adults. I think everybody's going to get a lot out of the Knuckles character. I think he's the best character in the movie, and Idris Elba does a great job voicing him, and I think he was the best addition to this film. I really love the Knuckles character, and if there's a Funko Pop somewhere, maybe I'll just get a Knuckles Funko Pop. But let's talk about the human characters. James Marsden is back in this, and he plays now the father figure of Sonic. In the first film, they were more like friends, like best friends. That's kind of the bond they created. This film, they changed it more to father-son, and it was a little strange. I mean, I see where they're going with it, but I don't know. It just felt better with them as close friends, and him just bunking in their attic instead of now, Sonic being their adopted son, or whatever you want to call it. Thought it was a little strange. James Marsden really doesn't have much to do in the movie. He's fine, but he's not really given much to do. Sonic himself, though, look, he's still got lines, like I said, that make us feel like we're idiots. Occasionally sprinkled through the film. I didn't think it was as bad as the first movie with that problem, but it is there. Thinking about it, but the movie is a little too long. This is like a 2-hour film. It's a half hour longer than the first one. It doesn't need to be. They could have shaved down a lot of the stuff, especially with the side romance that I was talking about with the Shamar Moore character. A lot of that just felt totally out of place. We didn't need to go to Hawaii or wherever in the world they went. We just didn't need to do it. And I felt like the story revolving this emerald or this crystal, this thing that we're looking for the whole time, uh, just didn't feel as strong as some of the characters themselves, like the Tails character, the Sonic character, their bond, the Knuckles character. The opening 5-10 minutes of the movie where we're spending with Jim Carrey as we left him off at the end of the first film on this mushroom land. We have, how does he escape? What happens there? It was all watchable, and I think the movie is watchable. I think it's a perfect word for it, but it's less watchable than the first one simply because of the length and the runtime. But I do think that there's like a 15-minute chunk in the film that I actually really enjoyed. It takes place on this lost city. I won't really go into spoilers, but there's a lost city in the film that we go to. Jim Carrey, Knuckles. It felt very much like a scene from like Indiana Jones. Sonic has to cross the water like Dash and The Incredibles, how he runs so fast he could run on top of the water. I really enjoyed that stuff, and the whole scene in that secret island I thought was really good. Then the movie goes on for another like 20-25 minutes, and it just felt more tacked on. But regardless, this is a watchable film. I think the effects, something about the effects were off in this movie. I think they look good at times, but at other times it almost felt like they were just not quite finished. But regardless, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a 3 out of 5-star movie for me. I'm very indifferent to it. If I never watch it again, that's okay. If I watch it again, why not? It's a watchable film, but it's not something that I'm going to be like, let's watch that again. It's too long and it's a little too silly, but there are good things inside of it. So guys, comment your thoughts down in the comments. Do you plan on seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2? What'd you think about the first film? Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. A lot of reviews coming in the future. Speaking of more reviews, we did a double feature tonight. Saw Michael Bay's Ambulance, very different film. I'm going to be doing a review for that basically right after this. So those are going to be going up back to back. You could also follow me on Instagram at KingArises131 and Twitter at RyanKing72. More on those in the description of this video. And guys, that's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And until next time, over and out.